Hi friends, I am Vikas from LearnDreamSkill.com and I welcome you to the Excel tutorial. So today we are going to start learning the Excel. So I would say that it is the time to shake hand with the Excel. So first I will tell you how we can start the Excel. So first way is you can just go to the start menu, and then you will have to click on the all programs here. Then you will click on the Microsoft Office. Then you will be able to see that here Microsoft Excel, and you can click on this, so Excel will start. Or either you can just go to the start menu and you can just type Excel here, and then you can just click here, so Excel will start. So when you see the Excel application, so by default Excel opens up with the three sheets here, as you can see. So when I am talking about these three sheets, so it is the 2010. So by default it opens up with three sheets, and you can see these menus. So these are called the ribbons in Excel 2007, 10 and 2013. Earlier, before the 2007, it was the menu here, but now Microsoft has changed the look and feel of the Excel. So now these are called the ribbons. So you can see here that some things like here, these are starting from the A, B, C, D, something like this, and these are going up to XFD, you can see here. And here you will see the rows. So these are starting from 1 2 3 4 5, and it will go up to the 10,48,576. so mainly these are called the columns in Excel, and these are called the rows. So mainly if we say in layman language, so or we can say in technical language as well, so Excel saves the data into the row and column formats. So mainly when we talk about the rows and columns, so in 2007 plus we have 10,48,576 rows and 16,384 columns. So here, like you can see that columns are starting from the XFD, and you might forget these numbers which you can see here, 6,384. so you need to just remember 16 and 3, so you can just make this series like this. So what you will have to do is 16, then you need to concatenate 3, so you need to keep 16 and 3, then half of 16, which is the 8, then half of 8, which is the 4. And now if you concatenate these numbers, so it will make 384. So by this example you can remember the number of columns in the Excel. So what you need to do is you need to divide 16 by 2, then you need to divide 16 by 4. So you will get the actual number of the columns which are there in the Excel. And if we talk about the rows, so you always remember the 10,48,000, you will always remember this, but I think you will forget this last 3 digit 576. So for that you need to keep 5, 6 and 7 as your reminder. Then what you need to do is you need to swap 6 and 7 position, so it will make your actual number of the rows which are there in the Excel. So now we can say that we have 10,48,576 rows in the Excel. So these numbers are mainly too important to remember. I would say that if you will go to give the interview, interviewer may ask you these questions, that how many rows are there in the Excel and how many columns are there in the Excel. And so please be aware about these number of columns and the number of rows which are there in the Excel. So I think please remember these things. Now I'll tell you more things in the Excel. So actually it is our first class, so I just want to show you, or I want you to be aware about the Excel starting points, or you should be aware about the Excel, like how many basic things are there, and if you don't know the basics, then how you will work on the advanced topics of the Excel. So that's why I am just showing you the basic things which are there in the Excel. So now we are done with rows and columns, like how many rows are there in Excel and how many columns are there in the Excel. So here you can see that we are having the scroller. So it is the horizontal scroller and it is the I would say vertical scroller. So I think you can use either these, or you can just go one by one like this. So you can see that scroller is going smaller as we are just scrolling through the rows, more and more rows, because number of rows we are covering here are more. That's why scroller is going to be smaller. And till here you can just use the scroller to see the rows. So now I'll tell you how we can mainly if you want to add the data, so it is simple. You can just select the any cell wherever you want to add the data. So now there is one more thing. I said the cell. So cell is nothing but cell is a intersection of the row and column. So you can see here we are having various boxes here. You can see these. So these boxes are the cells where we type our data or we save our data. So mainly if you want to save data or type your data here, so address of the cell will be column A and the row 1. So whenever we talk about the cell, so we refer that cell with the difference of column and the row. So first we consider the column, then we consider the reference of the row. So just for example, here you can see that if we are selecting this cell, so this cell is the E9. So you can see the address of cell from here as well, and you can see from here as well. So whenever we will select the cell, so column and the respective row will be highlighted as a orange there. So you can say that this cell is the G12, and if you see here, this cell is the D7. So you can see there are multiple cells here in the Excel. So if you want to add the data, you can just select any cell. So whenever we have selected any cell, so that cell is called the active cell. So if I ask you which is the active cell here, so you should say that B4 is the active cell. And if I say you that which one is the active sheet, so you should say that sheet 3 is the active sheet right now, because you can see here we have three sheets here, which is sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. So we can save our data in any of the sheet as per our requirement, and in the sheet we can save our data in any of the columns or any of the row, which is the cell. So after selecting the cell, you can just type anything whatever you want. So just for example, if I want to add my name to B4 cell, so I can just type my name here, and then I'll have to press the enter. So we have added the data to the cell, which is the name here. So if I want to add the date, so I can add. So to add the data, simply just start typing in your data, and it will keep adding the data until you press the enter. So just for example, I'm just trying to add my date of birth here. So just for example, it is 1st Jan 2000 1987, and as I typed the 87, I just pressed the enter. So you can see that date has been added to the B4 B5 cell here. So like this we can just add our data to any of the cell and wherever we want. So mainly there are various types of data we can add to the cell. So I would say that whatever you think you can add to the cell, whatever is the data you can add it to the cell, whether it's a currency, whether it's a date, whether it's a name, or I would say true and false values, you can add anything to the cell. And just for example, now it is the Vikas here, and if you want to make changes to the Vikas, just for example you want to change the name to the first name and the last name. So just for example you want to add name as a Vikas Kumar. So what you will have to do, you will have to edit this cell, and to edit the cell you have two ways mainly. So either you can just double click on the cell, so this cell will be changed to the edit mode, then you can just type your name here. So you can see that I have changed the name, or you can just select the cell and you can just press the F2. So after pressing the F2 you can just start typing the name here, so name will be changed here. So now I will tell you how we can just scroll through to the Excel sheet. So let me create a small data for you. Just for example, we are having records for 6 person here with the name and the age. So just for example, like you can scroll through to the Excel. So if you want to go to the end of the row here, end of the row at the data, so what you will have to do, if you are at the starting, or either we can say you are at the middle row. So if you want to go here at the end, so what you will have to do, you will have to press Ctrl and the down arrow. So you will go to the end of the row of the data. And just for example, if you want to go to the end of the column, so you will have to press Ctrl and the right arrow. So like we are having mainly two columns here, let me create more so that you can see. So I'm just copying only these columns here. So like I am here at the C column. So if I want to go to the I would say F column, so what you will have to do, either you can just go like this one by one by pressing right arrow, or if you want to go to the left or to the A column, then you will have to press left arrow from the your keyboard. So and if you want to go directly to the either to the left or the right, so you will have to press left or right arrow with the control key. So just for example, if I want to go to the right or end of the column, so I would select I would press control and I'll type or I'll press the right arrow. So you can see that I am at the end of the column. So which one is the F column? So it is the last column, or I would say it is the rightmost column of the data. And if I want to go to the left, or I would say to the first column, so I'll type the I'll press the control button and I'll just press the right arrow once. So you can see that I am at the first column right now. And same, if you want to go to the first row, then you can just press the control and the up arrow button here. So we are here at the first row, and if you want to go to the last row, then you can just press control and the down arrow. So you can see we are here at the end of the row, or I would say the last row. And just for example, I am here at the end and you want to go last row of the Excel. So if you press control and down arrow, first you will go to the last occupied row, which is the 7th row. Occupied means wherever we are having the data in the last row here. So you can see here in the last or in the 7th row we are having the data, and it is the end of our data row. And if you press again the control and down, so you will go to the end of the row which is there in the Excel. So you can see that 10,48,576 row here. So just for example, now we are here at the end of the row here, and we want to go to the first row of the Excel. So what we will have to do, we will have to press the control and up arrow. So by pressing these, first we will go to the last occupied row, which is the 7th row. Then we will have to press control and up arrow once again, or I would say twice. So you can see that now we are here at the first row, which is the name here, you can see here. So same thing is applied to the column as well. If you are at the first column, or you are somewhere in the middle column, and you want to see the last column, which is the occupied, so you will have to press control and the right arrow. So you will be there at the end of the data, and which will be your the last column, which is the F in our case. And if you will press the control and right arrow again, so you will go to the last column of the Excel, which is the XFD in our case. So just for example, if you will try to do the same thing in 2003 Excel, although that is the obsolete version, I haven't seen that 2003 version since last 5 years, but I'm just saying that for your reference. If you are just using the 2003 version of Excel, there are only 255 column, so you will go to the end of the last column there. But here in the case of 2007 plus versions of the Excel, you will go to the XFD column here. And now if you want to go to the first column of the Excel, so you will have to press Ctrl and the left arrow twice. So whenever you will press Ctrl plus left arrow once, you will go to the last occupied column, and then you will press the Ctrl plus left arrow again, then you will go to the first column. So here you can see that we are here at the first column. So please just try these things once, so that you will be having idea about the I would say how you can scroll through to the keyboard shortcuts. So mainly if you will use this mouse like this, you want to go here and you want to go to the last column, so how you will go? You will have to scroll through like this, or you will have to use the scroller. But here you can see that your scroller is not going here. So what you will have to do, you will have to just click on this down arrow, so your Excel will move like this, or it is same as pressing the down arrow. So it is the tedious job. So to scroll through to the I would say column and the rows, if you are using the scroller, and if you use the shortcut keyboard shortcut keys, then you can just move through the Excel easily. So just for example, I am just pressing Ctrl and down, so you can see. So at a one shot we are here at the end row, and if I press Ctrl and up arrow, at a one shot we are here at the last occupied cell. So it is the faster way to scroll through the Excel. Now let's discuss one more scenario. Just for example, you can see that it is our data, and you want to go to the end of the data, which is the, or I would say that you want to go to the end of the cell which is there in the data. So what is the end cell here? So it is the F7. So you can just press Control and the end, but you will see that we are going here because we are having the data here in the Excel, and it is separated with the blank columns as well. But what Excel assumes that it is our complete data. So whenever we want to we will be working in the Excel, so mainly this will not be the scenario. Whenever we will be working in the Excel, so our raw data will be having the a single table like this. So if here I press the Control and end, so you will see that I am just going end of the cell which is here in the our raw data. So it is the F7 cell, and if you press the Control plus home, so you will go to the first cell of the raw data, and it is the good way because you can just use the single shortcut key, and you don't need to press the shortcut keys twice. Just for example, you can either use Control and down arrow, then Control and the right arrow to move here, and like if you want to move to the first cell of the raw data, then you can just use the Control and left arrow, then Control and the up arrow, or either you can just use the Control and up arrow and the Control and left arrow. But instead of pressing the shortcut keys twice, you can use a single shortcut key, which is the Control and the home, to move to the first cell of the raw data, and Control and the end to move to the last cell of the raw data. And just be aware about that. If you are having the multiple tables in the raw data like this, so you can see here this is our first table, and you can see it is our second table where we are having only two cells occupied. It is our third table. So here you can see that it is the here we are having the data, number of rows and number of columns. So our last occupied column is the W, and our last occupied row is the 7. So if we will press the control and end, so it will move to the W7 row here. So let me press control and end key together. So you can see that we have moved our active cell to the W7. You can see it here, and if we want to press control and home, we will be moved to the first cell of the raw data, which is the A1. Now let's learn one more shortcut key. So here you can see that at a first shot our zoom size is 100%, so we can see the 26 rows at a one time. And if you want to see data of the next 26 rows, like 27 to like 52, so how we will see this? So for that we have one more shortcut key in the Excel. Let me just fill this data down quickly so that I can show you. Now just see that at a first shot we can see the rows from 1 to 26, and if I press the page down button here in the keyboard, it will move or it will show the next page. You can see here now it is showing you data from the 26 rows, because you can see that it is not completely visible here. You can see few, or I would say that 10% part of 51 or last row is not visible here. That's why it is showing you to the 26 rows as well. So if I'll press the page down again, it will show data from 51 row here. See here, so it is showing data from 51 row. And now if I'll press the page down again, it will show data from 61. And if you want to move back, then you can just press the only page up button or page down button. So if you want to see data page wise, so you can use either page up and page down, where page up button will show the back pages or previous pages of the data, and page down button will show you the next pages of the raw data. So now let me make notes for you which shortcuts we have just learned. So control plus 1, sorry, I would say this, and control plus I would say this left arrow, and control plus, and now I'll have to insert some symbol. So symbol I can just add from here, so this and this. So you should be aware about each of these shortcuts which I am just telling you. So mainly Excel, you will be efficient, I would say you will be efficient in Excel if you know more shortcuts, and you will be able to finish your task easily. So one more thing, whenever you will go for the Excel job and you will give your interview, so most of the interviewers ask for these shortcuts. So because they know that if you know the shortcuts, you will be able to complete your task as soon as possible. Because if you know the shortcuts, so you can move through to the Excel as soon as possible. It is the faster way of using the Excel. So like let me tell you one more thing, like you want to go to the end of the data, so how you will go to the end of this raw data? So you will have to scroll your Excel like this with the scroller, or either you will just scroll through to the down arrow one by one. But if you know the shortcut, which is the control and the down arrow, you will be moved here to the last occupied row of the raw data. So you can see that by pressing only a single shortcut key, you have your last row of the raw data. So it has saved your time. And you can see here, if I don't use the shortcut and I keep pressing the down arrow, so what I will have to do, I will have to press the down arrow key 157 times. And if I am having the 2 lakh rows, how I will move? I will have to press down arrow key 2 lakh times. So that's why you should be aware about the shortcut keys. So I would write here and column. Towards right, and or I would say first toward left, or I would say a column. And same like this, I would say XFD column to the last row and to the first row. And let me adjust the width here. So I would say, if we have raw data, then at the first combination of the shortcut keys, you will be moved to the last occupied column. Then if you press the combination again, you will be moved to the last column, which is the XFD. So I have explained these shortcut keys to you. So this definition for one shortcut combination I have written for you, and it is your exercise to try out these shortcut keys and to write the this definition for you. Then you will be aware about the shortcut keys. Now let me tell you one more thing. If you are here at the first row, then you will and if you press the control and up arrow, you will get nothing, because by pressing the control and up arrow key, you will be moved to the first row, but you are already at the first row, so you will get nothing. Or I'll say that we have nothing in the first column, so because we are already there in the first row, in the first row. So you should be aware about this as well. So you should use your shortcut keys appropriately. Now if we use the PG up and the PG down, so it is used to see the previous pages of the Excel, I would say this, and it is used to see the next pages of the Excel. Now let me show you one more time. You can see that if we are pressing the page down, it is moving one by one, and if we are pressing page up, it is showing the page one by one towards the previous and the next word, backward and the next word. And if we press the control plus, and then we will be moved to the last occupied cell, and control plus home, moved to the first cell of the data. So we have discussed these shortcuts. Now you should be aware about these shortcuts. So whenever you will be working in Excel, these shortcuts will help you. And if you will go to the interview, then they may give you the test to solve that out, and you will find these shortcuts there in your test. And if you will be aware about the shortcut keys, then you will be good to go, and you will feel that I know everything. So that will be the proud moment for you, because if we know everything whatever have been asked in the interview, that is the good exercise. Because if you go to the interview and you know nothing, interviewer will say you one thing, we will get back you soon. So that is not the good thing. Or interviewer will say that we will call you later, because you know nothing, and interviewer will not hire you. So if you are going for the interview, then you must be aware about each and everything. I would say that if there are 100 things in Excel, and if you know 80 things, 70 things, then interviewer will think that you know most of the things, and the things which are remaining you can learn those things, because those are the things which you might have not worked on, but you know most of the Excel, then you can learn remaining things as well. But if you know only 10% and 20% of part of the Excel, then interviewer will think that he is the freshers in the Excel, and he will take more time to learn the Excel, and nobody is there to wait for you in the company. So you should be aware, and you should be confident enough about the technology for which you are going to give the interview, because your ultimate goal to learn Excel is you should be able to work on the Excel. And how you can work in the Excel? if you know everything, like if you know shortcuts, you can work faster compared to the manual process. And if you know formulas of the Excel, then you can calculate the things in the faster way. So please keep remembering those things, I would request you these. Now let's discuss the sheets. So sheets are nothing but sheets are like the pages of the notebook which we used to use in the our childhood. So now let me show you one example. So if you can remember this type of notebook which we used to use in our childhood when we were going to the school, or we used to go to the school. So for the maths classes we used to use this type of notebook. So this is the notebook where we can just do our calculations. So you can see it is having boxes aligned. So this book helps us to write down the maths calculation. So if we consider, or if we compare this book and the Excel, so we can say that these both are the same, or we can say that these both things, this notebook and Excel, can be used for the same thing. But it is not as advanced as Excel is. So like here in the notebook we will have to use the calculator to calculate some things, but in Excel we can just type in anything whatever we want. Just for example, Vikas and Sandy are having $23 and the $37, and if you want to sum up both these two things, so we can just use the sum formula here and it will calculate. And just for example, if I am making changes in the money of the Vikas, so it will recalculate the sum, but it is not there in the Excel. But it's not the scenario which I am just going to explain. I am just showing you the example of the sheets. So sheets are something like same. So you can see here it is the one page and it is the second page, and same as we are having the multiple pages in the notebook, so same is applied here in the Excel as well. So sheet 1 is something like the first page of the Excel, this notebook, and sheet 2 is the second page of this notebook, and sheet 3 is something like third page of the notebook, and we can keep adding these sheets as we want, and it depends on the resources of the system. So there is no limit to add the sheets in the Excel, but it depends on the system resources. But let me remove these sheets which I have added. So actually I have removed the main data. Okay, let's go ahead, not an issue. So pages of the notebook are same as the sheets of the Excel, and the combination of these pages are called the maths notebook. So same as we can say that these are the sheets, or we say these sheets as a worksheets, and the combination of these sheets are called the, or combinations of these sheets is called the Excel workbook. So whenever we work in the Excel, we save that workbook. So just for example, I am saving this workbook at the desktop. So I am just changing the name like my first Excel. So I am just saving this workbook to the desktop. So I am just closing it out. So you can see here So you can see here in the desktop we have my first exercise Excel, and if I open this, we can see our workbook which we were working on, and it is having the sheets. So sheets are the same as the pages of the notebook, and these complete, or we can say combination of these sheets are called the workbooks. So, or we can say that workbook contains the multiple worksheets, and worksheets contains the data. Now let's discuss one more thing. So whenever we work in the Excel 2007 or 2010 or 2003, so here one thing comes, the extension of the Excel. So Excel extension, you can see from here, it is the .xlx type. So this extension will help you a lot when you will work in the Excel. So just for example, if you want to see how many Excels are there in your system, so you can just type XLSX here. You can see that we have these much Excels in our system, and you can press see more result here, and you can just click on the computer, then it will show you all the Excels which are there in your system. So if somebody asks you to the extension of the Excel, so extension of Excel is XLSX. So this extension is applied to 2000, 2010, 2013. And if we talk about the Excel 2003, so extension of 2003 is XLS only. So far we have discussed about the Excel worksheets and the Excel. We have discussed about the rows and columns and some shortcuts. Now it's time to learn the formula bar and the name bar. So it is nothing, but I just want to tell you what this input box type is called. So this is the formula bar. So whatever we type in the Excel, so you can see it here in the formula bar, and whatever we type here in the Excel like formula, we can just type that here also. And here whatever cell we have selected or range we have selected, so you can see that when we select these, so it is just making the changes here. So whatever cell is the active cell, that is shown in the this text input text box. So this box is called the name box in the Excel. So here you can see the file menu. We are having some options of the Excel which we will be discussing later, and these are the ribbons which I'll tell you later. And this is the developer tab which you cannot see by default. Actually I have enabled this tab, so whenever you will install your Excel, you will not be able to see this developer tab. This developer tab is used by the VBA coders or VBA programmers which write the Excel VBA coding. And the first few buttons you can see here, so this is called the quick access toolbar. So you will see save, redo, undo button here, some spelling check, ascending, descending, order, sorting buttons here. So you can see here it is showing you quick access toolbar, so you will see it also. Now let me tell you one more thing. You can see that these lines, these some blue lines here, so these lines are called the grid lines in the Excel. The lines you will be aware about these lines as well. You should be aware about the extension as well. Now in the next class we will learn the Excel, how just we can type our data and how we can store our data and how we can just work. Now last thing which I want to tell you, if you want to save our data, we can just save, or we can just type our data like this, simply like name my Julie. And if you want to, let me add some unique value, and if you want to apply formula, so formula is added in the cell itself, but formula starts from the equals to sign. Then we can give the formula whatever we want to apply, and we can just select the row cells which we are going to use. So you can see it has been selected. Now one more last thing which I want to tell you. So here you can see that I told you that intersection of rows and columns is called the cell, and when we select the multiple cells as we have selected here, so that is called the range. So I write here intersection of the column and row is called the cell, and combination of the multiple cells is called the range. So we can say that if we are selecting these two rows, so it is the range which is starting from A3 and which is ending at A4. And if we select these cells, so we can say that this range is starting from A1, A3, and this range is ending at the B12 cell. So please be aware about that also. Now it's time to say goodbye, and keep watching our next videos, and I'll explain more new things about the Excel. And this was the basic session about the Excel. Okay, goodbye guys.